France, played 107 first grade games in the NRL for Canberra, Newcastle and West before taking up an opportunity to play in France for 2018, where that season has just concluded, as we mentioned before, a guy coming in who's match fit, basically, is what we got there.
Makes sense for them.
Statement of intent?
I think so. I think they're preparing ready for next year.
Sign of the fact that they can, they're a name now. That they're out there. People are aware of them, and
well, exactly. This is the profit. This is the profit on the back of all the good work they've done. That they've done all the good work, and that's not only built them off the field. It's now giving them the capital, if you like, to say, come on, we've got something worth coming for.
Yeah, fair shout.
Some more news. Speaking of typical, I get the Keighley story. Austria Holdings are the new majority shareholders at Keighley Cougars. A deal has been concluded between the new owners and former Cougars chairman Gary Fawcett, and the latter confirmed in a statement on the club website. They do like their statements.
I love Gary. I love Gary Fawcett's statements. Basically, I don't know if you ever listened. I don't know how much you're into the NFL, but there's a podcast called Around the NFL, and one of the hosts had like a slogan, basically, that any time he started going on a bit of a rant, they'd play this like sound clip of him saying, "It's about me." And when I see Gary Fawcett's name, that's what I think about straight away. So read the quote, and then people will get that context, I think.
Yeah. So I met with a representative of Austria Holdings to finalise the deal, and I'm very happy about the plans they have for developing the club. They see this as a long-term investment, as I'm pleased that my stepping down in May has created such an opportunity for the club. Interesting, because
I've given you this, guys. So if it goes right, it's on me.
Yeah, it's an interesting one from a governance and a long-term sustainability.
It's interesting.
view.
From my understanding, they're like
venture capitalists,
which doesn't seem
very traditional, shall we say?
No.
And apparently, because
how many houses can you fit on? How many houses can you fit on at Cougar Park? That's what it made me think straight away, to be honest.
And the other thing is that apparently they're not listed on Companies House as a registered company at the moment in the UK. So it's interesting how their sort of funding model and how that's working. So and their liability position.
So basically, what we're saying is, what due diligence has been done here at all?
Well, I mean, it would be very unlike the game of rugby league to go into something with someone flashing a checkbook without doing due diligence. I couldn't believe that would ever happen.
That's a good point, yeah. And finally, former Australia and New South Wales ace Luke Lewis will hang up his boots at the end of the 2018 season. The 34-year-old has played a total of 315 games for Penrith Panthers and Cronulla Sharks in the NRL during his 18-year career, scoring 119 tries. Lewis earned 16 caps for Australia, as well as for representing New South Wales at origin level on 17 occasions. The last week's This Week in League podcast gave a really good tribute and journey through Luke Lewis's career. And I do think he's been one of those players that's managed to reinvent himself really successfully, from being an outside back to being a hard-working forward.
I'm not gonna lie, I love Luke Lewis. He's the sort of player, because obviously invested in terms of New South Wales, and he's someone you just don't feel bad about having him in the side, because he's always going to work hard for you. He's going to be, and he's just going to bring, and he's just someone who you think that's what we want in a player of that level. And he's just someone you enjoy watching.
Yeah, even his bad games, you still feel like he's giving you something for a side because of that work, because of that determination to still deliver something, whatever it can be, energy or what have you. Yeah, I agree. And he showed his dedication to the sport by moving positions so much as he did. I think. Yeah,
because it was one interesting. I can't remember if it was this week or the week before, where they did say on This Week, basically Luke Lewis said he was ready to walk out the game and retire after Penrith, and Gus Gould said to him, "No, you don't need to retire. You just need to go and play somewhere else and get something different." And that's when he went to Cronulla, and he's done brilliantly there and won a premiership.
Yeah. Excellent. Right, so and he won a premiership obviously at Penrith when he was young and a back, outside back, and then was it about 12 years later he won a premiership with the Sharks. It's ridiculous. So excellent career and well done to him. Congratulations on that. That is the news from around the world of rugby league covered by SLP this week. We're now going to look onto the Super League match reviews. Super League match reviews now, sponsored by Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. Find a wide range of toys, gifts, rugby league birthday cards and more at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. Visit stores.ebay.co.uk/Rob's Toy Shop. And on any orders over £5 you can earn 5% cash back, and also 1% of your order value will come right into the SLP coffers just by putting SLP discount at checkout. Please do go and use Rob's Toy Shop, because all that money comes back to us. It would be, really helpful for the running costs of a show. And it's a really easy way for you to get something for yourself, but give something to SLP too.
Definitely, yeah.
And there's loads of stuff on there. We've talked about it loads of times, but go and give it a look. Anyone who has been donating to the show will have got packages that probably had some Rob's Toy Shop literature in there, as he is my distribution channel. But so thanks to Rob's Toy Shop for helping support the show in that way, and please do support them as a result. Okay, Super League round 22, average attendance just shy of 9,000, 8,964. That's pretty decent. Most of that average attendance was supplemented by a decent for a Thursday night crowd. I would suggest it probably would have been about 4,000 or so more if it was on a Friday night, but 16,047 rocked up to the DW to watch Robert Hicks referee the game between Wigan and St Helens, which ended 14 points to 6 to the visiting Saints to give them their 13th win in a row. Do you want to take us through the first of the fan reviews?
Yep, sure do. Neil McCune said, Saints looked relaxed in tonight's unopposed training session. Without lockers, Wigan look a shambles. He needs Walt Disney's cryogenic chamber.
Carsten said, a really good game which had everything I expected, physical and fast with some really big hits and fantastic plays, but damn, Wigan looked bad in attack. Saints were resting two of their best players and were always threatening, which shows why they're at the top of the table. Wigan has to find new ways to give their coach a last trophy. #I'm back. Yeah, Carsten, I think, wasn't able to get watching the Super League games for a while, but he's obviously back on it now, which is fantastic.
I know he'd been on holiday for a bit as well, hadn't he?
His view. He told me it was like work that was getting in the way.
Oh, right.
Really.
Okay.
But great to have him back on board, and great, to slightly adjust some of his
on a side point, he's well worth a follow on Twitter if you don't already. Swiss_cowboy.
Yep. Good shout out there. Okay.
Yeah, Paul Chamberlain, who we spoke to earlier, said, looked like some of the home fans preferred the local Poundland closing down sale, although all the departures at Wigan give it a similar feeling. Saints too good, and even with Bruce Wayne, Wigan wouldn't have won. Thompson, all beast mode, and honourable mentions to Lees and Ashworth in stepping up from Sheffield and not looking out of place. The RFL will be praying Saints do the same to Catalan.
Do you know, Jack Ashworth he didn't play a lot of minutes, but he was brilliant off the bench, I thought. I'm glad that someone gave a shout out to him, because he's barely got a look in this year, and I think he took his chance really well on Thursday night. Shoddy and Mungo said, despite looking disjointed in attack, I thought Wigan actually showed a lot of tenacity to recover from the multitude of Saints breaks and keep the score down. Thought Hicks really let the game flow and made for an entertaining spectacle.
I definitely agree on that, and I thought Mr. Hicks had quite a good game. And
do you know, I thought he'd fucked up. I thought he'd let it go. I thought he'd messed up when he gave that penalty to Amor early-ish on, where Tony Clubb basically did nothing, and he gave a penalty. And I thought then he probably was going to lose a handle of it, because the players were going to take advantage of the fact that he was giving penalties for that. And he kind of pulled back from that position, which I'm annoyed from a Wigan fan perspective. He got himself in that position in the first place, but I'm glad from a game perspective he pulled back from that position.
And it's also
a really physical game, a really fast game.
And it's credit to the players as well that they responded to it. They responded to the penalty in the right way.
Yeah.
That they then raised their game, to not give away penalties. Whereas you do see other players who might not necessarily do that, and they might then start to play up to it and.
No, exactly. And until it got desperate later on, I don't think there was any kind of claiming for penalties and that sort of stuff in the game. And you can kind of understand it a bit more when it gets desperate, rather than just throughout. If we have to tolerate it at desperate stages.
Or Danny Tickle the other week sitting down.
Yeah.
Just to get up. I'm still angry about that one. He has no need to do it.
Well, it was.
He was punished. He was punished suitably for it with a try going against him. But never mind. Anyway, Alan Walker says, "Oof! I thought McNamara had already taken over from Wine in the swap for Samkins. No such luck. Was hoping one of the Staines players could have broken Samkins' neck, and then we wouldn't have to buy him. No such luck. Derby passion covered up poor attack from both. Roby by far the best on the ground."
And St David said, Saints the better team from 10 minutes in, so it says a lot for Wigan's scramble and spirit that we could only manage an 8-point win. The low score may also have been influenced by the lack of the golden and platinum edges. I did a bit of number crunching on that, by the way, and it turns out Wigan's left side attack, so, if we break the rugby league field down, and Sean Lawless, who I do the Wigan Fan TV with sometimes, he broke it down pretty well, and I think this is a really good way of looking at it now. You've got pivots, you've got middles, and you've got edges now, basically. And you've got your big edges, they're your second rowers, you've got your fast edges, they're your wingers, and centres in between. But if you take the left edge of Wigan, so Wigan's left winger, centre, and second rower, okay, no position group has scored a higher percentage of their team's tries than Wigan's left edge this season. And when you look at Wigan have scored the second most tries in the league, that's a lot of tries going down the golden edge still. So, and I know if you throw the fact that Barber scores most of his tries down the left for Saints, if you threw that into the mix, that'd make it a little bit different. But then
how many have been scored down the golden edge as well, though, on the opposite side, going the other way? How many have the golden edge let in?
Do you know, I could get those numbers, but I've not done those numbers, but not a lot.
That's next week's challenge, isn't it? Yeah.
Best defence. Anyway, he goes on to say, Roby, Tomo and Knowles outstanding for Saints. Bateman's and Tompkins equally good for Wigan. Happy to see Ashworth get a game, and Lees is getting better every game. Bring on the wire. That's next week, David. We'll talk about your hammering, even though it was only an 8-point margin of Wigan this week. First, I think there's been some really good summing up of the game from that. Wigan's attack was not with it at all in this game. It was too easy to read, too predictable. I've talked about it on this show loads. It's give it to Bateman and open miracle happens, or get Tompkins out the back. And I just don't think that Powell's fast enough in any aspect of the game to get Tompkins out the back at the moment.
And it's not just a physical fast, is it? It's also a mental fast as well. He's not able to have the vision or the awareness to see he's there, and he's not able to ping it out to him.
Podcast, but I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I did drop that in, didn't I? Yeah.
But exactly. And I think Young Woods has played really well, but in this game I don't feel like he had committed runners around him who were definite threats. Willie Isa, when he plays, he works his fucking arse off. He really tries and he really cares and that sort of stuff. But
he's my favourite financial product.
He gets himself into positions where he's not an attacking threat, even when he's running the line. And he basically, I don't understand what he did, but basically ran. He had it's the closest thing to like an open goal I've seen this season from my seat in the stand. He basically just needed to step off his right foot and he had a try, but instead he decided to run straight at Danny Richardson's inside shoulder, which then gave Danny Richardson support from his inside defender. It just. And this
or just go straight and fend.
Yeah, this was at 6-0, and that was like when he had the ball in attack. Every other time he broke down the attack, and I don't want to bash Willie Isa. It happened across the field. Wigan didn't have support runners on the inside. Josh Woods' inside dummy couldn't work because there was no one showing that commitment. Whenever Tompkins did kind of get a bit of broken field position, or Lulawai got a bit of broken field position, no one was there supporting. The attack was not there for each other in this game, and Saints were doing a really good job. Makinson in particular, absolutely flying in to shut down anything Tompkins could do. And the comment of Roby being the best on the ground by far, I don't believe that Makinson or Thompson were that far behind him. If I'm completely honest, I thought Thompson was fantastic. Full